Herb gardening has regained new popularity among individuals of all ages, backgrounds, and residents as we look for ways to find economic ways to provide food for the family and connect with nature. Today on It's About You, Rick Durham, UK Consumer Horticulture Extension Specialist, gives us insights on basic gardening and how to extend the growing season throughout the year, as well as explains the difference between organic and conventional gardening. Jim Embry of the Lexington-based Sustainable Communities Network shows us the importance of connecting gardening with kids and explains how other communities can make gardening projects happen across the state. Rick, it's growing season. What are some tips to start and maintain a garden?
Well, you know, right now we're right in the middle of the growing season, the middle of summer. But the thing about gardening is it goes on really year-round.
Do we need a large plot of land for a garden?
You know, really we don't need any land at all, because one of the things we like to promote with people is that they can garden anywhere, whether it be their backyard, their patio, an apartment balcony. I guess the one thing they do need is sun. Most vegetables require at least 6 hours of sunlight a day to be productive. Soil is very important, especially in terms of gardening in the ground, because you want well-drained soil. You can amend the soil somewhat to improve its quality and its fertility, but drainage is probably the one thing that's hard to amend. So you want to pick a site that's well-drained.
So the secret is sun, soil, and of course a little water.
A little water, yes. Yeah, that's right.
We see organic produce listed in farmers markets or grocery stores. What's the difference between an organically grown or conventionally grown vegetable?
With organic production, what we're looking at is using inputs like pesticides, fertilizers that are naturally occurring or from living organisms. Generally, these materials tend to persist for shorter periods of time in the environment. In both organic production as well as conventional production, we would practice something called crop rotation. And every 2 or 3 years, we would move all of these crops to another area of the farm where these crops have not been grown. And so maybe in those areas we had been growing beans or some of the leafy greens like kale and spinach and lettuce and those types of things that don't have the same pest as these crops.
How can we extend the growing season beyond summer?
Well, we're here at the sustainable production area of the horticulture farm, and they're doing some research here on, I believe it's melons. And you've got some of the melons are covered. This is to keep insects out. Other melons are left open just as a control. But we can use this covering also as a season extender. Now this is canvas covering. In late fall we would probably switch to a plastic covering that would let light through but would help keep the vegetables warm. And actually here at UK we've done some research on using what we call row covers, and we've been able in some cases to grow, for instance, spinach throughout the winter using no heat at all and in row covers. But let's not forget too that now it's midsummer. Pretty soon a lot of the crops that we're growing now will start to finish, and actually some of those, like beans, I know in my home garden I've picked beans now twice, and probably I'll pick them one more time, pull those beans up and plant another planting of beans, because they'll go ahead and mature before the first frost in mid-October. But then say in mid to late August, early September, I'll think about putting in some of the cold tolerant crops like broccoli and cabbage, spinach, turnips. So those things will go in, in late summer, early fall, and produce up through October, maybe even early November.
Gardening not only provides food for our tables, but connects kids with the environment. At the Winburn Art Garden in Lexington, Kentucky, Jim Embry emphasizes the importance of involving kids with gardening.
Kids get outside, okay? Richard Louv in his book, No Child Left Outside, connects nature deficit with behavior disorder, okay? So being outside, getting exercise, kids learn how to work together, okay? Other than, say, sports, we have a hard time finding kids working together. Kids also learn about the environment in a whole variety of ways, from, as you were seeing today, about ladybugs and butterflies and ants. And so they're learning about the environment and the ecosystem and how important human beings are to protecting, conserving what we call the environment.
And probably one of the best things is that kids learn that food comes from somewhere else other than a grocery store.
Oh, thank you. Absolutely, absolutely. In some neighborhoods where the grocery stores have all packaged food, all processed food, or the kids pretty much, their diet consists of fast food. So they might know tomato sauce or ketchup or that kind of thing, but they don't know tomato, okay? They may have never eaten a green pepper or an okra plant or a pea plant right out of the garden.
How can other communities start similar projects, gardening projects, especially for kids?
Well, we encourage people in their neighborhoods to organize a committee, as has been done here in Winburn, Green Acres, and so forth, a committee of people who are willing to stay the course. And those few people help organize their children, they help organize their houses of worship, their neighborhood association to find a location for a garden. It might be like here at an empty lot, it might be in a park.
So really for people all over Kentucky or anywhere, the key is just plant the seed literally, whether in their place of worship or park or neighborhood, and that ideal can literally grow.
Yes, like a seed.
For more information on home gardening in Kentucky, contact your local Cooperative Extension office or click on College of Ag, Department of Horticulture website for all the latest publications.